morning, everybody. It's Pam Steele talking about the 10-day way to lose weight and not just necessarily to help prevent COVID, but also for good. So having had my great experience at Grey Shop Manor, where I lost a stone and also became hooked on the plan that they provide and as well the research that I've been doing in the past. So we looked yesterday I was asking you to make a note of all the food, the times that you ate, what you ate, why you ate it, whether you had too much or too little. So those were the sorts of things. Now I want to go back and maybe with your lists analyse that particular day. So did you remember to have your hot water or your tea first thing in the morning? Lemon and ginger or something, other fruit teas are really great. And when did you have breakfast? Did you give yourself enough time before the last meal so that you could, 16 hours is ideal for intermittent fasting. So did you give yourself enough time for your gut to really not just digest all your food, but to have a rest as well and recover? So did you do a bit of exercise at some point yesterday? Did you think about having more raw food before 4, and so a salad or something like that, whereas more cooked foods in your evening meal after 4 o'clock? And did you, more importantly, write down the reasons for eating? And that's what we're crucially going to talk about today. So for eating or drinking. Now, some of the reasons I've got here are because you always eat at that particular time. So it's a habit. And also you always have your snacks at that particular time. Because you are genuinely hungry, maybe that's the best reason. Because someone gave it to you and you didn't like to hurt them, so you couldn't refuse. And also for stress reasons. Remember I was saying yesterday that if you are stressed, then your body actually biologically craves sugary food, because that's what they did in caveman days. And unfortunately, our bodies are still geared up when it comes to stress to caveman responses. So in caveman days, the extra sugar from things like junk food craving and high sugary foods would be to give you that immediate boost of energy to get away from the tiger. But our stress doesn't involve tigers, so we don't need that extra boost. So whilst we crave it, we don't necessarily want to be eating it, I guess. Or maybe you thought it was just a comfort food, so think about that and why you might need the particular comfort foods. Did you give yourself a reward for achieving something? Now, I did have my tooth done yesterday and it was terribly stressful, really stressful. I was in the chair for an hour, very lucky that I got in, but I was in the chair for an hour. And so I did reward myself with a gin and tonic. So anyway, I had that instead of the red wine. And so hopefully it isn't too far off the plan. And or did you sometimes eat because you weren't achieving something and that you felt terribly frustrated and stressed? So that's another one. Actually eating as a compensation for not achieving something. Some people eat because they are working from home, and now that you've got the fridge very accessible, maybe there's more opening up and closing up of that door and taking out nibbles. Because you thought this is a good one, because you were told by your mother as a child, eat up all your food, just think of all those starving people. How lucky are you? And or think of maybe in like my mother's day, they had rationing of food during the war, and therefore their response was to we can eat as much as we like. And it was just about at that point when all those luxury, really badly processed foods came out, like ice cream and even though and all the processed foods, what I would call man-made foods. So I think you're sort of getting to the point now as to maybe hopefully finding out the reasons why you eat, because they act as an incredibly big obstacle in terms of losing weight. For me, I usually get towards the end of my goal and then I sabotage it. So I've looked into that. Is it sabotaging success in general, or what is it? So I now put notes up, you've done really well. Don't sabotage this, as a reminder that that might be your initial response. So you have to actually address these particular obstacles, and otherwise you'll never achieve the goal that you want. And so you might decide that you want to go and see a professional, or you might have good friends who are good at listening, might help you sort of look at those particular reasons, but it is absolutely vital to find out what those reasons are. So just to give you an idea, these are some of the reasons that my clients that came to see me at. A lot of women actually decide to get a bit larger because they feel that they need to protect themselves from others. There might be bullies, there might be sexual predators, there might be all sorts of things. So they get larger and therefore they feel that they've got that protective layer. And we have to sort of open up and look what that's all about. So the jobs they might have, some of my clients were incredibly stressful, and they just found that they were putting more and more weight on and wanted to address that. Or at home, there were some clients who seemed to be caring for everybody, caring for the kids, caring for their parents, just caring for the pets, everything. And then they didn't have time, put themselves last in terms of, being able to prepare healthy foods for themselves. And the thing is that youngsters, when they're running around, can eat a lot more of this sort of not so healthy food and get away with it. As you get older, you can't get away with it. And then there were clients who felt emotionally empty. They didn't feel that they were loved enough. They were feeling very lonely, and it sort of made them feel empty in a way. And so those clients used food as a way of filling themselves up. Or some clients, if they were very angry, would again stuff their faces to try not to bring this anger up. So there's lots of quite complex reasons. I hope yours are nice and simple. Okay, well, we'll look at a little bit more about that, and we're going to look tomorrow at the how alcohol is so bad. It's not just about calories, it's so bad for diets, unfortunately. So anyway, let's have a look at that tomorrow. Have a great day, and and that'll be day 6. So we are going to carry on over the weekend, if you'll stay with me, and see you tomorrow. Bye.